Use your third arm to give yourself a hug while we talk this week's
Initial thoughts. Initial thoughts. Initial thoughts.
Hello there, Trekkies! It's been far too long since we had a new episode of Trek. So let's dive into the first episode of Lower Deck's fifth and final season, Dos Cerritos. I'm going to start with a dislike. And it's not for the episode itself, but for Paramount not even getting the name of the episode right in their app. This isn't the first time they got an episode title wrong, and they should be better at this. Otherwise, it's all likes from here. And the first is going to what's probably the final addition to the opening credits battle scene. This season, we appear to have added the Hand of Apollo from Who Mourns for Adonis, which was originally Gene Roddenberry's hand. There are Tholians spinning a Tholian web, and the V'ger cloud has shown up too. On that front, one long-held theory is that the Borg may have been the ones to make V'ger sentient, so I wonder which side the cloud is on. Anyway, the next like is for the collector with the prescription nose flare having the smashed Pah-wraith tablet from DS9's The Reckoning. Assuming that either are original, it means that sometime after this, Picard will end up in possession of it. Considering how adamant the Bajoran government was that even the emissary of the prophets return it to Bajor, it seems odd that it's never returned by a Starfleet officer. The scene also features a Horgon, and in the same vein of sex symbols, the Veltan sex idol was discussed by this collector and Kivas Fajo back in the Most Toys. This guy has one we see, but Fajo had 4. He also seems to have acquired some of Fajo's former collection. After the credits, T'Lyn and Mariner are playing a game of Calto, as Tuvok and Kim often did. Rutherford is looking a little rough around the edges and doesn't appear to be dealing with the loss of Tendi very well. Boimler pops in with the latest issue of Fleet magazine, where he's supposed to be featured in their 30 Under 30 issue. There's a fair amount to unpack with this cover. 30 Under 30 is a thing Forbes magazine does every year, where they highlight the entrepreneurs that supposedly have the most promise for the future. I say supposedly because it's a theme that many of those highlighted go on to be charged with various levels of fraud after being featured. Aside from that, though, this is issue 47, for which I have a like for the 47 reference. It plays on the episode title Q Who, and contains an article about top 10 Riker moments, which sounds like a video I have to do on this channel now. Within, Bradward finds that despite his picture taken for it, he didn't make the cut. Or even the honorable mention section, even though a still very young Naomi Wildman did. The main plot of the episode is then revealed to be a take on TNG's Parallels, as the Cerritos accidentally goes through a quantum fissure they're trying to close, meeting another Cerritos captained by Becky Freeman. Though this universe is less than 1% different, Beckett became a stern captain after her mom got sent to Starbase 80, the recurring joke of worst posting in the fleet. Nearly every recurring minor and background character we've ever seen on the show is shown at some point through the episode, and it's so nice we get to see everyone at the start of the final season, we get to see them twice. Notably, the Ta'anas don't get along, as many cats don't at first meeting. Alternate Kayshawn has a saying, Temba, when he met himself, and the Ransoms can't stop talking each other up about how good-looking the other is. I have to wonder if Boimler telling himself that all Bradwards were born to be captains is some kind of foreshadowing for the end of this season. I have a like for Captain Becky saying, "There's no interpersonal conflict allowed on my ship." While I've never agreed with it, Gene Roddenberry would be proud. This is where we find out that this Mariner is a stern captain that uses fear to motivate, and carries around a riding crop, which isn't an exact callback, but similar to whatever the heck Captain Styles on the Excelsior was carrying around in the search for Spock. Though, by the end, we find out she wants to be the Mariner we know as a goof-off that doesn't want maximum responsibility, to the point that she phasers her bad universe self and tries to trade places with her, all while calling back to Season 1 Mariner's sarcastic Vulcan salute to her mom. Seeing how Otherford is dealing with the loss of his Tendi by erasing her from his memories entirely, gives Rutherford the newfound jolt he needs to work through his own sense of loss and realize that life must go on, even without his dearest friend. Speaking of which, the B-plot, which seems to be setting up a season arc, sees Tendi doing Mistress of the Winter Constellation type things, first pirating the Collectors Guild ship, and later tasked by her sister to find a 300-year-old Orion warship. Erica supposedly bought the information from a rogue archaeologist, and one has to wonder if that's Petra. In Tendi's office on her ship, we see a picture of the dog and the model of the Cerritos her and Rutherford worked on. What gets a gigantic like from me is meeting the blue Orions on this mission to recover the warship. This is a reference to the TAS episode The Pirates of Orion. Between the vastly different look and pronunciation of Orion, it has long been questioned if the two are even the same race. I love that this distinction is being fleshed out this season. The Orions are female-dominated, while the Orions are a patriarchy. It's still not clear if the two are different races, or the same original race that split off, similar to the Vulcans and Romulans, but we are likely to get more on the subject as the season goes on. And by the end, the blue Orions declare war on the green Orions. Tendi could go back to Starfleet, but feels a sense of guilt that keeps her as the mistress of the winter constellations for a while longer. I find it very interesting that Tendi's crew also want something more out of their lives than being pirates. It's great seeing the race become less one-dimensional. The last maybe callback I have to mention is the planet Tendi and crew go to find the Orion ship, Alva 4. While we've never seen or heard about this specific planet, DS9 had a series of mentions about Alvanian things, like the Alvanian beehive, Alvanian brandy, Alvanian spine mites, and the Alvanian cave sloth. While we can't be sure if this is the same planet, or at least star system, it is a distinct possibility. This was a decent start to the season. No dislikes with the episode itself, but not a lot of likes either. We had 2 episodes come out at the same time this week, so look for my second review soon. Also, for a broader take on this episode, join me and other Trek YouTubers every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for our live stream. We love to hear from you folks live in the chat, and I have a Best 5 Worst 5 video about cave episodes due out tomorrow as well. Until the next one, I've been your host, Dustin Wing.